Okay, so I think a lot of the other stories so far tonight have been whoppers in terms of crazy shit happening. Mine is a whopper in terms of lies. Yeah, basically the point of the story is about how I was an unconscionable liar for all of grade 3. Time when a lot of people discovered themselves, and I discovered I was a liar. In particular, my lie started with, but did not stop with, my mother. I grew up in a single mom home. I'm trying to get points for that, hopefully. I grew up in a single mom home, and because of that, obviously, money a lot of times was pretty tight. So, for my mom, in order to get by a lot of times, in terms of our daily lunch, my mom had an interesting priority system where she spent money to put us in a Lutheran private school, which probably fucked me up a lot more than any StorySlam is ever going to capture. But because she put so much money into that, that meant she spent less money on the essentials like lunch. So for all of 3rd grade, my mom thought it was a great idea to buy Oscar Mayer lunch meat. Specifically, we started out with, but did not end with, Oscar Mayer bologna. And I hated this stuff. I mean, I absolutely despised this meat. It was circular. It came in a yellow package. I mean, it tasted like pig dick and like my best friend's corpse or something. Like, I did not enjoy the taste of Oscar Mayer bologna. What made it worse, though, was that next to me in my 3rd grade class was Zaire Marks. And Zaire Marks was my best friend. And Zaire, every day at lunch, while I was eating my processed pig dick circular meat sandwich, Zaire had what I thought was the coolest sandwich for lunch in the world. Pepperoni, provolone cheese, and mustard. You guys are probably all grown right now, but like, fuck you. I thought that was the shit. So every day, I was bitter. I would look at my sandwich, I'd look at his sandwich, I'd look at my sandwich, I'd look at his sandwich, and I hated it. And so instead of eating my sandwich, what I started doing was not eating it. And so my grandmother, who would pick me up every day after school, she would bring me home and to her place, and while she was in the den, I would go and do my homework. And once I figured she drifted off watching Donahue or Oprah or something like that, I would take out my lunchbox, take the sandwich, and put it in the trash. Now the first couple of times, they caught on to it. They would go to throw something away in the trash and like, there's a fully uneaten, nasty picnic sandwich sitting right there on top of the trash. So I started getting in trouble for this, obviously. My mom was like, why are you wasting money like this? You know, you gotta eat your lunch. Dyfus or somebody's gonna come and get me because they're thinking I'm starving you. So I would instead, the same routine, she would keep making me the sandwich, and I would instead start taking the sandwich at my grandmother's house and hiding it places. At first, I would hide it deep underneath the trash, but they found that. So after a while, I got the idea of hiding it in places around my grandmother's house. Which I thought at the time was pretty inventive as a kid. So, I mean, you guys can laugh, but again, I thought I was pretty smart. What I would do, though, is that I ran out of places to hide this stuff. Like, I would hide it in her kitchen behind the toaster. I would hide it under the kind of crevice underneath her oven. But after a while, I couldn't stick it anywhere else in her kitchen. So, I would start hiding it in her bedroom. So this meant that in the middle of the afternoon, when she was on the floor watching television, I would stick sandwiches up underneath my shirt because I would have to pass her on my way to her bedroom. And she would obviously stop me. Like, I felt like a drug mule trying to cross the border. And she would stop me and be like, hey, Trey, where are you headed off to? And it's like, it was a weird Q&A, and I was just like, man, I'm going to go take a shit or something like that. So, and I would go, and for like the next 6 months, I just kept dumping sandwiches in the back of her room, just dumping it everywhere, every fucking place possible. Behind her dresser, under her bed, behind her headboard. So come summertime, my grandparents are feeling kind of ill in the house. And they decide to do a little summer cleaning. And lo and behold, they go through the house and like everywhere at this point. Like I was like a mad black leprechaun. Like I stuck this stuff in like fireplaces, the basement, the bedroom, and together they had to gather together what was obviously like, or amazingly like 50 or 60 sandwiches. And I had to explain why there were 60, 70 moldy bologna sandwiches in their house. Alright, so here goes my smell story. In a very vain and superficial attempt to make my college application look that much more attractive to people, I tried to be involved in as many different things as possible in high school. Debate club, environmental club, marching band, and one of the big things that I got involved in my senior year of high school was community service. And so one of the things I got tasked with for community service was helping out at the local old folks home, which sounds very admirable and very noble, but for me was pure hell. Because for me, I have one of my many weird quirks is that when I'm around really old people, I tend to hold my breath. I don't know if I'm afraid of inhaling like their old people vapors and dying instantly or what, but one of the things that, like, whether it's around family, whether it's on the subway, whatever, I will hold my breath. So when I got the assignment, everyone's like, yay, old people! And I'm just like, oh, this sucks. So I would go to the old folks home, my first time there, and as soon as I walked in, like, you know, it smells like, I don't know, dementia and like crap pants and just neglect. So I would go around and like hand old people like their pills and their juices and stuff, and the whole time I'm holding my breath, so that means I can't have a conversation with anyone. I'm just like this mute black kid that's just walking around. So they're asking me to like give them stuff, and I'm just like, so I'm losing oxygen the whole time. And so periodically I would go and I would run to the window and I would have to take big gusts of air. It was like I was deep sea diving, and I would go back in and I would... And that's how I got my community service hours though, and I went to University of Maryland, so fuck you old people.